Welcome, everybody, to the OBT show. We're back!
You're a dick.
I don't tell Chris who is introing, because I like to keep him on his toes.
Suspense.
We've been gone for a while.
Yeah, we haven't been potting.
It's our outside lives, man. If this was our 20... For me, I'm not making that your... I'm not saying that was your deal, but for me, it was like every time we went to pod, it was something major happened outside of this space.
No, you always had like a ton of stuff to do, and then when we would move it to the next day, my supreme laziness would kick in, and I would fall asleep.
You fell asleep. We're going to admit that.
So
I got
we're both
text.
at fault,
Sorry,
except
bro.
your fault is
I fell
actual real. Mine's more like, I was looking at the sun, and then it was dark.
I like that text. You're like, hey, man, sorry. I fell asleep. An hour and a half after I called you.
I wake up and I'm just like,
you're like,
who is Brendan O'Brien? That guy.
And I also had your wrong phone number for a while.
What? Oh, yeah, that's right. When you would text me, nothing was coming through.
And I was like, he's an asshole. Why is he listening to me?
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
When I told you I didn't get your text, I wasn't lying to you.
No, I didn't think you were.
Like, I know there's people that'll do that, though. It's fucked up.
I do that for stalker people.
And if you're listening in, that was the first F-bomb of the day.
Yeah, feels good. So we haven't been back, but now we are.
Well, we left off with some suspense.
Because you were going to go see Iron Man 3.
And guess what I saw?
You saw Iron Man 3.
I saw it.
What'd you think?
It sucked.
Fuck you. It did not suck. I loved Iron Man 3.
Okay. Listen, I was just saying that because I wanted to just like start off with that, but I have a good feeling and semblance.
So you still think it was terrible?
No.
Okay.
So I thought it was meh.
All right, go ahead.
Which is more than I'll give Iron Man 2. So
Iron Man 2, I didn't like too much.
I try to forget that it happened sometimes.
Well, explain yourself, sir.
Okay. The CGI, excellent. Like it just everything felt real.
Yes,
so
I agree.
Okay, I'm okay with that. The action, they ramped it up. There's a lot more lulls in between the action,
right?
But when it was time for things to get going, like it was very like sit on the edge of your seat, and it was like, like when they're catching people out of the airplane. Awesome.
That was awesome.
I saw it in the trailer, and I knew it was still going to happen. But it was so cool to watch. It
was
happen.
cool, yeah.
Like the way he saves them, it was just like the people just like, you know, what was it? What did he say? Barrel of monkeys?
Yes.
That awesome.
Massive spoilers, by the way. If you're haven't seen the film yet, it's been out for a while.
We were in spoiler alert since last. Well, did we talk about anything?
We didn't talk about too much. We talked about a little bit of stuff. But we should.
So I said barrel of monkeys. That's a.
It's not a major plot point, but I'm just trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt out there.
Do you know your voice is very sultry with both headphones on?
It is, and I think I purposely dropped the bass. Yeah. But anyway, so you liked it, but you had some qualms, some nitpicks, some.
I wouldn't even say nitpicks.
Faux pas feelings toward it.
They did some shit wrong. Now,
okay, I'm not.
We're talking about the Mandarin. Major
spoilers. Do you want to go right into it?
Right into.
All right, go right into Mandarin. I want you to describe Mandarin, because I think I'm gonna have to correct you on your description.
The way that they treated Mandarin, who is a real character in Marvel comic universe.
None of them are real, Chris. In
the universe, he's a real. Don't you start with me.
All right, I'll be good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna kick him under the table. This real character that they have developed, maybe not enough to where you would like it, but it is a character they have essentially written out of the existence, including the 10 Rings, out of the whole Marvel. By doing this. So if you were to consider canon being Iron Man 3 as the most recent development, there is no Mandarin. Mandarin is not like a supervillain or anything like that. Because essentially Killian is the Mandarin. Since they made him, in case you all haven't seen the movie and we're ruining it for you, it's a fake character. They use him as an Osama bin Laden. Record him on video, put the video on, scare the shit out of people, but
they pretty much portray it as he is a caricature of all the worst villains meaning villains in real life. So you got it's almost like they did market research, and that's what he says.
But it wasn't to be evil. They did it to attribute. No, they did it to attribute their mistakes to something and make it evil and which was already an evil thing. So they're like, oops, we screwed up. We're blowing people up. So we got the I have the Mandarin thing covering it up, explaining all the bombings and stuff like that, and then they wrap it around saying like, oh, we bombed this area, we bombed this area. Like when he say he blows up the Chinese palace in Hollywood or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like he was saying like that's what they wanted to do and blah blah blah. But that I don't think that was the plan, was to blow them up.
Wait,
right there.
I think that was the plan. That's why Mandarin existed, because Mandarin would provide a focal point for people to be focused on while Killen could do his own thing on the side. That was what they were talking about. Like they meant to do that because he wanted an escalation in war so that someone would go buy his extremist serum for super soldiers. That was the point.
Yeah, but
you're right. While he was being blamed, Mandarin was being blamed. It wasn't like they made mistakes. Those were all calculated.
So what was all the point about can you regulate? Like, he asked him if he can regulate taking his dosage or whatever, and because the guy was like, yeah. And then he finally gets a hold of it, and then he goes, it sucks in all this extra drug, and then blows up. It wasn't...
Remember during the film when they're showing the procedure, and that not all of them can take it, and that not all of them are stabilized? Mm-hmm. That's how I interpreted that portion. That was giving us background and saying, okay, not everybody can handle it. He was already tweaking out pretty hard, but I think that they place them there in specific locations in order to blow things up and escalate the war.
Okay, so essentially you're saying that they're going to hope that he goes and overdoses on the stuff right there on the spot.
Yes.
But there's no guarantee that that's...
Correct.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying is they're using that... They want him to blow up, and they're using that by saying the Mandarin or whatever, but it's essentially their mistakes, their oopses.
Technically, I would say yes, because they're mistakes in not having a perfect soldier, but... They place them there in a specific position.
Okay, so they've taken a character that they've had the 10 rings in throughout all of, like they had like references to it. Like I think in the first one, I don't know about in the second one, but
the second one had no references.
I thought there was like a banner or something, or there was like
I think it was footage. If I remember correctly, it was the scene after the film where Tony Stark is told you're not part of the Avengers, and they showed Shield monitoring.
And that was
but I think it was rehashing old footage. It wasn't something new. It was like the Hulk blowing up Central Park. It was Iron Man coming out of the cave. I think that's where. But
essentially, they're taking something that they have already established in the movie universe, and then not explaining it whatsoever, just saying it's a thing. So there's no development, and then there's no development in the character because the character's fake.
Yes.
It was terrible.
I don't think that's terrible, though. I look at that as a funny way. I look at it not in a funny way, but I look at it as... Because I think... How in depth are you with comic books? How would you say you are a fan?
Okay, as far as
what level of fandom? 0 to 10.
Okay,
10 being extreme, 0 being no.
Because I don't do it on numbers. As far as like full story arcs go, there's chunks of story arcs that I've missed and stuff like that. But I try to make sure I have like a general knowledge of everything.
So you're more than a casual fan.
I'd say like 5 to 6.
5 to 6.
So that way I want to be. I always like to know canon. Like I want to be caught up as far as what's important for characters, and I can't know all of them, so I try to know the big ones.
Here's where I come from. This is why I think Iron Man 3 is awesome, and I have no problem with what they do with Mandarin.
Because you're going to say that Mandarin was racist and...
Nope. Different argument.
Okay.
I would say I'm a 10 plus on the scale of comics because I'm an absolute... I had to cut down because I spent, and I'm not ashamed to say it, I spent $80 on comics this past weekend because that was just what I was pulling. Mm-hmm. Because I'm like, I need to be caught up in everything. So I had to like destroy 9 titles to get down to 5.
You're talking about in-hand comics, not the digital stuff.
No, in-hand comics. I go to the store, I buy
them. Like 800 times cheaper if you bought them online. They're like $1 a piece sometimes.
I might have to do that because for purely storage reasons. But whenever I buy a house, it's on again.
I read them on my phone sometimes.
I hate it. I need that. I like smelling it. I like looking at it. I like the concept. So
they have action things where they move.
I don't give a shit about that. All right, go. But my point is, I'm well aware that there are different levels of storytelling and that there's different universes and that there's different interpretations, and even DC now is acknowledging that they're back to having 52 different universes where there's elements of storytelling that can take place. With that in mind, whenever I go see these films, I'm not looking for an exact replication of what they've done in comics. I'm looking for a unique spin that can take place in a live action, reality based to the best of their ability situation, that's how I take this. So when I saw the Mandarin twist and it happened, I wouldn't lie, there was a part of me that was like, oh, that kind of sucks that there's no Mandarin. But the other part of me that's read so many alternate storylines said, this is kind of a cool option to have, and I like this because I think it works for what this Shane Black was trying to tell as a story, and I have no problem with it. Now, I don't think it. Now, I think the argument that you have is you're about canon must be real, and this is a character that deserved more, and it was cooler.
He definitely did deserve more, but
I would disagree with that because he's a pretty low level character.
Yeah, but at the same time, Killian is not a bigger character than Mandarin in any respect. One storyline, Mandarin has shown up multiple times. Killian once.
I would say
that's it. That's all.
But you know what?
Only time
in Iron Man 1. I think that was more of a wink and a nod than an actual establishment of a set character.
I can't say he's only shown up once. I haven't read every single Iron Man comic, and it's possible that he showed up more than once. But
he was a big part of Extremis, right?
Was
But he was one and done in that respect. I cannot disagree with you. But Mandarin as a character, I think because he's not a major league player in my mind, when looking at the vast scope of Marvel Universe villains, I have no problem with him being what he is.
Then who would you consider a major league character that would be bigger than Killian? Because Killian, I'm sorry, is not.
Well, I would say
maybe for the story, but not for the Iron Man universe. I would say
a Doctor Doom.
That'll never happen, though.
Well, I know. But you're asking me within the realm of what the Marvel Universe can offer, as far as what Marvel can do for a film, or are you talking in like the whole Marvel Universe?
So, I'm sorry. I would be more specific. Okay, do it for the sense that you can't have anything that is close to Fantastic Four because someone else owns it.
I'm thinking like
or Fox owns
it. So I'm thinking in terms of I'm a Marvel.
You can't do anything that gets too close to X-Men because does Fox own them? Who owns?
X-Men is owned by Fox. Fox owns both Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Okay, so you can't do anything in those two. Now, look at the rest of them. Who at this point is the next in line, do you think, to be the big Iron Man villain?
There could be, if you give me a second.
Okay.
I'm taking Mandarin out.
Yeah, Mandarin, not available, because he's a lower level. He doesn't count.
Did you put lower level?
He's a lower level.
Lower level. I would say that there's a couple of options that they have. They have Crimson Dynamo, which is the Russian version of Iron Man, which they merged with Whiplash, which I wasn't a big fan of. They have a couple of classic Avengers villains, Kang the Conqueror they could have pulled from, a time traveler that fancies himself smarter and better than everyone, so that could be a good ego. Kang the Conqueror, he's a time traveler.
Yeah.
You could, if you're pulling from the Hulk movies, but they did establish the leader at the end of the Hulk film. Remember the scientist that gets the gamma dripping on his forehead and it expands, which they'll probably never pick up on because they'll never do another Hulk. But if they really wanted to call back to that and they wanted a villain of supreme intellect, go with the leader, and they can modify that. And that is already established as some sort of character that they can draw on. So that's about... And I would, if I could go back and redo two, you could also do Madam Hydra, and also Whiplash should not be Russian. He should be just an asshole like he is in the comics. Yeah. Madam Hydra is also an option in Viper, even though Viper's being used in the Wolverine films. But Madam Hydra is a big one.
I don't even think they're using Viper right in the Wolverine.
No, because Madam Hydra was actually a love interest of Tony Stark, and that would be an interesting dynamic. So those are the characters I would put up based on the fact that Mandarin has been exhausted.
But so now, since they've used Mandarin.
Now, again, even looking at all of them, I still don't think I would have hyped up Mandarin as much as he was in the comics. I just don't see it.
But
working.
But they're talking about doing Doctor Strange, and like if they want to introduce this realm of, there's like not only is there aliens, not only do people have mutant abilities, on top of that there's magic.
Right. Well, they did something interesting with Mandarin in the comic books.
Yeah.
But at the same... What?
Go on.
But it was still not great.
This is the way I look at it. You have Iron Man 3 is the lead franchise in all of the Marvel movies as far as the Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3. That's the one that people are going to pay the most to go see. That's the one that's getting the biggest pull. So at this point in time, I feel like that's the one that you introduce it with. That's the one that you... Mm-hmm. Because Doctor Strange, that's going to have a lot of magic in it.
It is.
It's going to have a lot of properties that aren't currently in any of the Marvel movies.
I'm trying to remember what his specific powers are. I'm on Wikipedia because that's my most accurate.
What, with the rings?
Yeah, the
rings. Because each
rings,
ring does like
right.
a different... Yeah, if you go down it, it's on there.
Does it go through there?
Yeah. It has like...
Revival,
it says like ring
enter the
1, ring
Mandarin.
2... Yeah, keep going down. It should have like
powers and abilities.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, these are all such as 60s. That's the thing. They'd have to figure out how to...
I think lasers coming out of your eyes is from the 60s, but they're going to put that in Superman.
Yeah, I don't. It just seems so.
I'm
goofy.
just saying this is
like this
now,
is kind of
don't
goofy.
Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying this is the kind of thinking that for me kills Doctor Strange.
I don't think it does. I think there's a way to do it.
I'm sure there is, but this is the way. Like you have so much stuff that you can draw from. Even if you only get to use like 5 of the rings, they could have at least explained what the rings were, and
I think
why they were significant. It was just literally, we're the 10 rings because I got 10 rings, motherfucker.
Well, I think
that's it.
Yeah, but I think this is where I think this is the heart of our argument. You don't like what I'm fine with what they did. I'm not saying that the Mandarin, that there's no way that they could do the Mandarin as he is in the comic books. But what I'm saying is what they did with him in the film, I'm totally fine with.
That's me peeing on your face.
You're such an ass. This is why we can't have solid arguments, because then you go pee on my face.
Like I said, I understand why they did it, and part of me is very okay with it because of the sense that it made a complete movie happen.
Right.
At the same time, they put all of this hype into it and all of this Mandarin stuff.
But I don't think there was a lot of hype.
There was. It was in almost every single trailer.
No, hype as far as building up the character in previous films. That's why I wasn't disappointed. I thought it was so funny when he was just an ass.
In the advertising. Like, they were playing this up hardcore. It was in every single thing. His face was in every single thing.
But doesn't
the images of the 10 rings were in every
But doesn't that just complement what they did in the film?
No.
Yes.
No, to me it doesn't.
You put focus on a bad guy and then the real villain is
it's
good-looking man.
That's like Jacob's Ladder. You spend the whole movie... Oh, spoiler alert. You spend the whole movie thinking the guy's still alive and nope, he's dead.
Okay,
it's just
but
the moments
that's
right
a good storytelling moment.
No, that's stupid. I don't like if you're going to deceive a person, do it in a way that's like justifiable, I guess. Without like don't lie to me straight up. Lie to me in the movie.
They lied to you in the movie. Yes.
Yeah, they lied to me before the movie, and then they lied to me during the movie.
But that's what I liked.
I don't like that.
Because it complements the conceit of the film of that everybody's buying into this terrorist when the real villain is someone you'd least expect.
But Mandarin is a real thing. That's what I'm saying.
Not in the movie.
But in Marvel, in the world that Marvel has created, Mandarin is real. Mandarin has backstory, and
Mandarin has a backstory that was created by killing.
The deceit is that people have an expectation going into what the Mandarin is. It's not the deceit that he's a fake character.
But that's what makes it interesting, is that they twisted it. Yes, it does.
The movie essentially makes it interesting, but they built up that it's going to be a character in the movie. Then you go and you watch the movie, and no, it's not a real character. It's deceitful to the people that have read comics and stuff. It's not deceitful for people that have no idea what's going on.
But I think no, I don't think you're right. I still don't think it's deceitful, because I think is it deceitful that Tony Stark's drinking problem isn't highlighted because that's in the comic books? Is it deceitful that they ignore Hawkeye's villain past and they don't even reference that? Is it deceitful that they tried
to address it in Avengers by making him evil?
But no, that was a Loki.
Yeah, but I know. But I mean, they tried to include it's more that he has the ability to be evil.
No, because that was a mind control thing.
I know. I'm just saying they tried.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, no reference to her as a former Russian spy that murdered people.
They don't even have her speaking Russian,
right?
Except for that one.
There's no reference to that. But you know what I mean? Like then I would be. But if I'm taking your argument of being lied to and somebody being deceitful, then I'm expecting. Then I feel lied to then about Hawkeye, Black Widow. I feel lied to about Captain America because that's not how he was originally discovered.
But I'm not
lied to about the Hulk.
I'm not telling you that you shouldn't not feel that way. I'm just saying I feel like it's deceitful to people that have an understanding to build up the presence of something and then it not
but
actually be there.
But the presence buildup is not within the frame of the film.
No, the presence buildup
is the advertising. Right, but when you watch the film, There's a build-up, and then there's a twist.
They're marketing it to a whole group of people. They're just marketing it to everyone, so that hopefully then somebody will pick it up. Now, you have a group of people that have no freaking understanding of what's going on, but they're going to go see it anyways.
Yeah.
So if they get lied to during the movie, they'll be fine. Then you have a group of people that have an understanding of what the character is and have backstory, so have some kind of expectation to see them appear. And when it's completely like, oh, sorry, it's not even a real thing.
You are giving the classic fanboy argument for every single misinterpretation, I'm doing air quotes, of canon that has ever happened in any other medium besides the original.
They completely wrote him out of the Marvel comic universe by saying that Killian is the Mandarin.
No.
He's the one doing the terrorist thing, therefore he assumes the responsibility. The Mandarin is just essentially
the Mandarin
a figurehead.
Yes, that's what the Mandarin is, but he is not the Mandarin by default then.
Yes,
he is Killian.
He's
not calling himself the Mandarin. He's not wearing rings and throwing on a robe at the end of the film.
But essentially, it's his actions and responsibilities. Yeah. So he's responsible for what the Mandarin is figureheading.
Right, he's responsible.
So then there is no such thing as the Mandarin.
Right, because that's what the conceit of the film is.
That's what I'm saying. Awesome. That's deceitful to people like me who have an understanding going on, and you lied to us before the film even started.
But I have an understanding of what's going on, and I don't feel like I was lied to. I have a greater understanding.
You want to be right.
I don't want to be right.
Yes, you do.
No, I do not.
You're smiling.
No, I do not. You're such a liar.
I feel like
crying right now.
I feel like I'm proposing a pretty damn good argument.
And I'm proposing the counter argument of let it go. It is a different interpretation of it.
I don't want to. I have my expectations.
So Heath Ledger's Joker, did you feel like you were lied to?
No.
Because that's a different Joker than anybody was ever used to.
There's a lot of different Jokers, though. There's the crazy Joker. There's the happy, smiley Joker.
Then how come we can't have different versions of Mandarin? That's my argument.
It wasn't even a version of Mandarin. It wasn't a real thing. It was completely
It was the
fake.
version of Mandarin. That's
no,
the thing
it's not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is the Mandarin in that film universe.
He did nothing.
He did something. He was the figurehead.
He acted in front of a camera.
Yes, and that's what they had the Mandarin do.
In a fake movie.
Yes.
That doesn't count to me. I'm sorry. I don't. Okay, I understand you want to say, oh, we have different universes and in different universes because that's what they do in the comics.
Yeah.
But I didn't want that for Iron Man. Essentially, what they did was they made Iron Man the Dark Knight.
Not really.
Yeah.
How? Explain.
Okay.
You can't just throw that bombshell out and not explain.
You had the former love interest that turned around to then be involved in something that was eventually directed at his demise.
Weak.
But it happened. You have it happen in both movies.
Yes.
And then they went the dark route. It was just like we gotta address his problems and his coming back up. So you have Batman when he breaks his back, and then you have Iron Man's PTSD. Understandable, but it's literally it was like when I was watching, I was like, this is Batman. They made Iron Man Batman with jokes. That's what they did. They made a funny Batman. Without the alcohol. That's why he was supposed to be so snarky and funny. It was because he was drunk all the time.
Well, there are similarities. I'll give you that. I'm not backing down from Mandarin though, because I think it's a silly argument.
I know how that's how you feel, but I feel like.
But my point is,
if you're gonna lie to someone, lie to them in the movie. Don't lie to me beforehand. I don't want to be lied to before the movie starts. The convincing lie is me being in the movie, going, I'm so wrapped up in this movie, and then I'm lied to, and I go, either accept it or I don't. I was lied to before the movie started.
What about the same thing happened in Batman Begins? There are posters out with Ken Watanabe as Ra's al Ghul. Did you feel lied to at that point when you saw Batman Begins and all of a sudden it's a white Irishman that's Ra's al Ghul? Ra's al Ghul?
Kinda.
Yeah.
But not. I don't think I was really following the marketing as much for Dark Knight when it came out because I wasn't as big into picking apart every single.
Right.
I had a Batman poster.
But they did the same.
I was happy. No, I mean
did the same thing.
But they didn't. I don't think they really hammed it up as big as they did for this character. If you watch every single trailer, there's not a trailer that he's not in, and there's not a trailer where he's not talking, and there's not a trailer. I'm just saying, lie to me in the movie, make it really really convincing, and make it really really good. If you want to tease his appearance and then lie to me in the movie, even that is a good thing. But they're just spoon feeding you crap, and then you get in there and they're still feeding you the same crap.
But that's what I enjoyed because it was different. It was not,
but it wasn't good different.
I don't want to see my thing when I see these films. I don't want to see a verbatim copy of what I'm reading in my books. Don't flip me off in the middle of it. Don't pretend like I won't talk about what's happening.
But I'm not saying I don't want to. I don't want the exact opposite though. I at least wanted to see him show up. Like I wanted to see some awesome fighting between a supervillain and a supervillain or a superhero.
You saw that though with the extremists.
Okay. At that point in time, that was so cluttered and all over the place because it was all about all the extremists versus all of the suits. And then it was all about Pepper at the end.
Who all of a sudden magically can understand how to operate a suit, which I didn't like. And all of a sudden
they didn't explain that either. And it didn't have rescue, which this was the perfect one to do rescue.
Yeah, I know. I was really disappointed.
You have to agree with me. That's a huge letdown.
That part was disappointing because I thought at least one of these goddamn suits has to be rescue.
It has to be rescue. And like if they can say that they're going to do Iron Man 4 and then that shows up then, I'm going to be like, fuck you. You had the perfect movie to do it in. Pepper's going to save someone. Ta-da!
But I'm still... You're not going to sway me.
No, that's fine. I'm not going to sway you.
I think it's a good, healthy argument, though, because it is...
Yeah, stuff like this
there's I'm not going to lie, there's a part of me when I was slightly excited about, shooting off rings and dark matter rings and matter rearranger, whatever the crap that is.
And freaking the fuck out of Tony Stark.
Right,
because it's not anything he's ever seen before.
But then when it was revealed, I was like, this is pretty cool, too. I was not like, fuck you, Shane Black,
Okay, so maybe I should dial it down.
I think in terms of,
but at the same time, I'm like not as impressed as I wish I could.
That's fine. That's fair. But you remember Elseworlds comics from DC, where they would take Elseworlds was a branch where basically they did alternate. They did like Batman. They did like sort of. They did Superman, Red Sun. It's basically storylines of the what if genre. Like they did a what if in X-Men and Marvel. After a major storyline, it would be like what if. One of them was what if Magneto ruled the United States. And it shows like how things escalates, get terrible. Elseworlds was an opportunity for writers and artists to create a different perspective and a different version. So one of them was Red Sun, which was asking the question, what if instead of Kansas, the all-American state, Clark Kent landed in Moscow, Russia? So he's now Russian. And then there's a Batman who's American, and it's that's where they meet and that's where they battle. And different things like Batman, Dracula.
That sounds cool.
Right, but with that in mind, that's why I look at these Marvel movies as another venue, another
jumping point
where it's not going to be the same. I've already concluded it's not going to be the same as the comics, no matter how hard I try. There'll be winks and nods to the comics, like the Mandarin, but I think you have to kind of accept the fact that they're going to do what they want to do. The aliens that Joss Whedon used in Avengers are now just appearing in the Marvel Universe to basically confirm and sort of go along in line with what you're talking about, where let's have everything somewhat not streamlined, but it's sort of the cognitive dissonance.
Oh yeah, they added
the comics.
Them in.
They added them in instead of the Skrulls.
Chitauri.
Yeah, instead of the Skrulls, which were great. The Kree, which I was really hoping for, like already established, which that annoyed me a little bit. I was really
hoping for Skrulls.
I was hoping for Skrulls too.
I didn't understand a lot of like how the licensing stuff works with characters.
Right.
Man, Skrulls would have been so good.
It would have been so good.
It would have been so good.
But I mean, like that. I'm like, okay, no, but I can accept it because there's different things and different interpretations and different storytelling devices.
Okay.
Josh, we didn't need.
All right. This is the movie killer for me. Killian breathing fire.
That was dumb.
Yes.
Even Don Cheadle was like, "Oh, you breathe fire now." Like what?
It's so fucking dumb.
Well, I mean that it doesn't make sense.
Bad. Just all of a sudden, he's just like, oh,
and it wasn't even any like. Then he doesn't do it again. You know what I mean?
No, which was so bad.
But like, if that was an established power set for him, I'd be like, okay, he can breathe fire. I'm like, Don's gonna get blown fire. But this is like fire out of nowhere and then never again.
And he's like reaching at his nether regions, like, let me heat you up.
He's gotten weirdly sexual.
I know. I'm sorry. Okay, now this is why I proposed I don't think Killian should have been made the main villain for that movie. I think Guy Pearce is a cool actor, but it just...
I like the aim not. I was really hoping for MODOK.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's something that maybe we'll get addressed later on.
Again, if you haven't seen MODOK,
is not gonna...
MODOK is a giant floating head. A mass organism designed only for killing.
Yeah, originally it was for computing.
For computing with a C and the K. He grew self-aware and decided to kill everyone.
Yeah, artificial intelligence.
And the aim now in the comic books used to be pretty much a punching bag for Captain America. Anytime they needed filler, they're all scientists, so they got their ass handed to them. But now they're actually building up AIM in the comics now as like a legitimate force with an actual council.
Maybe that'll be Avengers 3?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Like, there has to be some escalation, some response. But actually, scientists they're getting kind of cool now. AIM, I'm like, this is pretty cool. But it is funny how Marvel Universe has responded by putting in a African American Nick Fury. They went a ways
with
away.
Ultimate. Well, no,
you're right. They had an Ultimate, but in the 616 Marvel Universe proper, they never had one. It was an old white guy. They changed that.
Yeah, no, I know. Nick Fury was this like super tough machismo white guy, and then they did the Ultimate Universe essentially.
Oh no, you're missing what I'm saying. I'm acknowledging Ultimate Universe has a black Nick Fury.
Oh no, I was just saying for people that don't understand. Like essentially, they wrote the character to be Samuel L. Jackson, and then they're like, want to be in the movies,
pretty much. But now they've done where they did a storyline where Nick Fury had sex with an African American woman, and then unbeknownst to Nick Fury, that woman had a son.
Baby Nick Fury.
Pretty much. That's really what it comes down to. And then there was a storyline where somebody needed Nick Fury's blood to live because he has the Infinity Formula in him, which again is not referenced in the movies, but it's basically has kept him alive for as long as it has now. That they've used that as the reason for. That's probably me.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my phone went off. That's the reason why he never seems aged from World War II on. He's the same. My phone is messing me up. But they did this convoluted storyline where all of a sudden Nick Fury has a son. Nick Fury is dying because he got like hurt badly and lost a lot of blood. Or he gave it to Steve Rogers, that's what it was, to keep him alive. And now they have Nick Fury running. Yeah, who needs him? Now they have Nick Fury Jr., who's taking the codename Nick Fury from his father with eye patch because he gets his eye stabbed out. So he looks exactly like Samuel L. Jackson, but they wasted 5 issues of a miniseries to get to that point. So now they're in a Sitwell. There's a Sitwell character. The guy... Oh, Agent Coulson. I'm sorry. Agent Coulson character. Yeah. Who just was written in as his army buddy. Nick Fury Jr.'s army friend Coulson. That helped him out randomly.
Oh, they added to match with like the movie universe?
Yes, to match with the movie universe. So now there's an Agent Coulson and a black Nick Fury in the proper Marvel universe.
In the proper universe?
Yes.
Oh.
So yeah, now that's what I'm saying. The Ultimates always had established from the start, from the get-go,
that there was a black
Nick Fury, which was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I was like, what does Marvel do? Then there's a fight scene. I'm like, they're going to take his eye out, aren't they? Because he had a sword pointed at his head. Yep, his eye was taken out.
There he goes.
I'm like, and there's his patch. And here we go. Now they've found a way to make everything look the same as the movies, no matter what book a casual fan is supposed to pick up. Because I think they were concerned. They're like, why is this old white man Nick Fury?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But it's dumb.
I agree, it is dumb. I was okay with it coming from Ultimate.
Yeah, I was okay with that too.
And then everyone else was okay with it. I think it's mostly like the dumb people that don't know. Not saying they're dumb, they just don't know.
And I think the thing with the Ultimate Universe too, that most people that are casual, you jerk. Most people that are casual fans are the Ultimate Universe is a messed up place, man.
Yeah, a lot of really, really fucked up
Blob
shit
ate the Wasp.
Oh, wait, what?
Blob eats the Wasp.
There's a lot of stuff that I don't know about.
There's a giant flood that killed a bunch of people. They did a flood. Peter Parker is dead in the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah,
it's now Miles Morales. Cyclops is dead. Wolverine is dead. Magneto's dead. Cyclops. And there's a bunch of other, like, most of the like original X-Men are dead, and Dead is dead in that universe.
There's no coming back.
Hawkeye also died.
Good.
Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch they're hinted at being incestual with each other in the Ultimate Universe. It's a weird place.
See, I didn't get that from it, but
the Ultimate Universe insinuates that they're close, and there's a panel where
if you had a sister that hot,
gross. You're disgusting.
Correct response, sir.
You're disgusting.
I was just testing you.
Yeah, no, thanks. Now you're gonna backtrack. I was just testing you. I wasn't gonna say like if she's my
sex.
I'm just saying, bro. If I was supposed to have sex with her,
you don't even know.
Like, she's so hot. No. She's so hot, but like I wanna.
She's like a superhero.
I mean, like she could like magically change reality. So I guess she could make a reality where we're not brothers. But I won't even go there, bro.
There's something we have to address too, as far as Quicksilver goes. He's gonna be in 2 movies.
Yes, he's gonna be in X-Men: Days of Future Past and Avengers 2.
How do you feel about that?
I'm really, I don't know. I'm a little
It's
sort of
two
like,
separate actors. It's not going to be the same guy.
I'm sort
and it's
of
such a short amount of time.
It's going to be weird.
Well, not short, because Avengers is
But
not for
how
another
did
2 years.
Quicksilver?
Right?
How is that possible between two movie studios?
Okay. Essentially, Quicksilver from the X-Men standpoint, it's going to be the son of Magneto. Quicksilver from the Avengers standpoint is going to be like he's a member of the Avengers with his sister, but they're not going to address his father.
That's dumb.
It is dumb, but at the same time, that's how they can make the balance between the two movies, but it's not necessary whatsoever. I feel like
in that instance, I mean, I know I'm going against my Mandarin argument, but I think in the instance of the character appearing in two films, there should be some reflection on both.
Oh yeah, there should be some like understanding going on, like you have a built-up knowledge of something, and you think it should...
different. If the different story, I think that's the movie. The two, if Mandarin was showing up in two different films, I would like Mandarin to be the same guy in both films. Because that's
so you'd
the
want him
film
to be
medium.
the same stupid,
Yes,
fake.
I want him to be a fake.
Suck.
I want him to show up in Avengers 2 in the brig of the helicarrier and Steve
And
Rogers
just standing
walk by.
there doing the Titanic.
Yep. Like naked doing yoga, be like, "Hey guys!" And then Tony Stark goes, "Yeah, that was one of mine."
The booze here is great.
I'd like him to be like, "Yeah, that's one of mine," and Captain America just shake his head, like, because that'd be a funny line.
Okay,
but Quicksilver is gonna be weird, man. It's gonna be weird without acknowledging that he's Magneto's son.
What do you think about the rumors of Black Human Torch?
I'm fine with that.
Okay, so then do you think that Sue Storm has to be black?
No,
So they're not going to be related?
don't care. Different storyline. Again, Mandarin argument.
No.
wanna
I
see
just
where it
saying
goes.
because I mean, Fantastic Four is about
Yeah.
you have brother and sister.
Then make a
you
black
have
Sue Storm.
thing, and then you have
Make a whole black cast. I don't care.
Stretch Armstrong.
Like, I really don't care. I think it'll be kind of interesting. I think it'll be.
No,
fun
I just wanted to know. I'm fine
Yeah.
with it. I just like how do you approach
I think
stuff like that?
you either have
like
to
you're
do
gonna
it.
say everyone's just from separate backgrounds. So
Everyone's from separate backgrounds.
it might actually help because the recent attempts to do
The recent attempts to do a family
suck.
were terrible. It just doesn't. It just didn't work. You know what I mean? Like, it was hard. I think because it's too wholesome for a superhero. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't even really acknowledge the family
They tried
aspect
to make
too much.
Reed Richards too suave. I was just
They did,
I
yeah.
needed them to throw in a little like I'm doing science, guys, to like lower it down a little bit.
I wish my friend Hank Pym came over and we could work on our Pym particles.
And beat our wives.
Avengers 2 reference.
Peter Wives, you ass. Only Hank Pym. That's gonna be interesting if they try to pull Pym into this, because I'll be like,
they're gonna make him aggressive but not abusive. They're gonna do it like they do. Have you seen the Marvel Ultimate cartoons, like the movies, like they did 1 and 2?
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do it like that, where he's emotionally abusive,
right.
as far as like, grr, don't tell me what to do. If I want to grow 41 feet, I can grow 41 feet. No, but 40 is your limit. No, I can do it. And then he gets hurt, and she's like, I told you so. And then he's like, fuck you, bitch, and walks
Like,
away.
I'm gonna dress up like Yellow Jacket and smack you around, and then I'm gonna go back to Ant-Man. I was like, what a convoluted character. He died actually recently. He just died.
Hank Pym died?
Yeah, Wolverine went back in time to kill him, stabbed him. But he comes back randomly. It's the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it's Marvel.
But he stabs him in
Hey,
the head.
Superman died and came back.
Yeah, don't remind me. That was a terrible storyline.
The death of Superman.
Death of Superman, and then we're gonna do 5 brand new characters. We'll do an
was the
African American
worst.
named Henry who dresses up like Steel.
Man of
We're gonna do a
Steel.
Superboy with a '90s earring. I still remember that cover.
Yeah.
Short haircut, '90s earrings, and the rimmed the
long
circle
haired
rimmed.
Superman.
Yes, and they had the short hair Eradicator
Yes.
Superman. They had Cyborg Superman.
It was the robot, right?
Right, they had
Yeah.
the robot. They had Eradicator, Superboy, Steel, and there's one. And then there was
There was the one that looked exactly like Superman, but had super long, flowy
yes,
hair.
yes, and I think there was 5 of them. And then it turns out where the Cyborg Superman was Henry Crenshaw. I forget his Henry Crenshaw. I don't think he had a code name, but he was a villain from Superman's past. And then the Eradicator, then the real Superman. I know I'm going deep.
Yeah.
Somehow wakes up and he puts on this giant power armor, trudges across the ocean, is a human fighting a giant.
Didn't he just like get like so close to death that it was like he was dead, and then he would like sit in the sun for.
It was they made him Jesus. They made him Jesus. He went away in a cave and he woke up, put on power armor just like Jesus, and then blew up.
Comes out clapping.
Blew up Caesar just like Jesus. And then this is also the storyline that it's a throwaway, but it's a gem because they made Hal Jordan an asshole after this because they blew up Coast City, and Hal Jordan went insane, and that's no one remembers that part.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because
Coast City blew up.
Because I hate Hal Jordan. I think that's why.
I like Hal Jordan. And then they made him an asshole, and then he went insane. Kyle Rayner got the ring, and then Hal Jordan became Parallax, and then
that happened from Death of Superman.
Yeah,
that was in the comics. That was in a
no, that was in the comics. Yeah,
really, it was in the same ones. Nuts. I thought it was in a.
Coast City blows up, and then he goes nuts. Hal Jordan goes nuts because the cyborg Superman blows it up, and then Superman, is unbeknownst to him, fights him, and then the Eradicator. I know this is really nerdy, but I remember all this.
Yeah, you're right.
The Eradicator shoots him with some power. Like you find out, Eradicator is really this Kryptonian safeguard that houses the power of all of Krypton. And there's a scene I remember.
Jesus power.
Pretty much, there's a scene I'm like, I don't understand what. Even as a kid, I've reread it as an adult. I still don't know why.
I don't think it should have happened.
Why Superman getting blasted in the back and then like merging with the other Superman made him Superman regular again.
It made those red tights just
pretty much, and then he's like, "I'm back," and then it became overpowered, and that was the Superman Blue.
Superman OP. Do you
remember that when he was
blue?
I
didn't really care.
I'm gonna explain it because I'm gonna make you care. Because if
I don't like Superman. I don't like Superman. I don't like most of the DC characters. This is the stupidest
story ever. Superman became hyper powerful to the point where he became pure energy,
he was
phasing in and out. So they had to put him in a containment suit. I'm going to show you a picture of it.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes while
I've probably seen it before because I've seen many throughout time drawings of Superman. Actually, some guy just did like a minimalism chart for it, and it was the same Superman pose.
Are you ready? Close your eyes.
Yeah. It had the same Superman pose, and it had it from like the 40s all the way through, and every single different story arc, and like the different uniforms that he wear, but in the same pose, just to show like the different time. I've seen this before.
And they did Superman Red because his powers split.
He looks like Quicksilver.
He does, right? And then they did. This was the original concept art that came out. It was like that. I remember that. And then, what is this? Oh, the toys they did.
Dear God.
They did a bunch of toys. And then the concept was Superman Blue and Red then merged to reform.
And then they became
Superman.
the White Ranger.
Yes. I know that was a very long tangent.
No, it's okay.
But I don't care.
We needed the tangent.
I don't even know where I started from.
Okay, now I'm proposing things from another standpoint. Next Green Lantern movie, or next Green Lantern that appears, Jon Stewart or Hal Jordan?
Jon Stewart. Idris Elba.
Oh shit, man! He would be
he'd be perfect,
dude.
I've already thought about
this. Thank you. I just because in my opinion, as far as me identifying with Green Lantern, as soon as I started reading Jon Stewart, I was like, this guy is just
he's a man.
He's more upfront with how he feels about his emotions. Like he cusses. He's straightforward, and he tries to get out of it as many times as he can because it's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, when he goes to fight, man, he's fucking gnarly as shit. Hal Jordan, on the other opinion, I just never really cared. Sometimes I wanted them to lose just so they could find out a new way to, bring him back or something.
But if they ever do Guy Gardner, that's what I'm tapping out.
Well,
Guy Gardner was a terrible character.
Now, is that because Guy Gardner's gay, right?
No,
he's not. Wait, didn't they make a gay Green Lantern?
No, they made a.
I thought it was Guy Gardner was the one that they did.
No, I don't think so. Was it?
Oh.
That's not the reason why.
No, I know it's not why. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to remember.
I want to clarify that.
I never really cared about him either. I just don't I hate Hal Jordan.
Guy Gardner, his only real claim to fame is that he got punched in the face by Batman in a comic panel because everybody hated him, and the fans wrote in and said that they hated him. Let me see if he's gay. Let me do a quick gay check on a superhero.
I could have sworn I thought that they did it.
Blackest Night, Green Lantern. I remember the New 52.
They wouldn't have it in there. It would be a specific thing because they'd be like, "Oh, this is."
I don't think so. I know that.
Maybe it's not.
who was it in the Marvel? He was a member of Alpha Flight. They had the wedding for him.
Yeah.
North Star. North Star is the first sort of gay DC Comics.
No, you gotta do Green Lantern.
I don't think it was a Green Lantern though.
Because it'll let us know right away.
Anti-gay Superman. What?
See?
Green Lantern is DC Comics gay Superman.
Yeah, I just don't remember which one it is.
Oh, I think it was. Not Hal Jordan. It was the original one. Which one? Keep going down. He comes from a different. He's Earth 2.
Alan Scott?
Alan Scott. Yeah, they made Alan Scott Green Lantern.
Okay, all right.
There's a whole bunch of them.
That's why I just didn't really care for Guy Gardner.
No, Guy Gardner's an asshole.
That's why I couldn't remember who it was.
He's an asshole, and I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool that they're doing gay characters, but I feel it's weird retconning a character into being
Dude,
gay.
there's like a whole group that's waiting for Batman to come out.
Really?
Yeah, there's. I typed in Batman gay online.
Yeah.
You would not believe the things that pop up.
That's pretty funny.
There's whole forum discussions.
I'd be cool with the gay Batman.
I would be too. I mean, I feel like it wouldn't demolish, the fact that he still beats the shit out of the people.
Which maybe he needs to be gay so that there's a strong character, so that anybody that gives him shit in the DC universe, he punches him in the face.
Be like, I remember. You just got your ass beat. Bam! Batman.
What'd you say?
Then instead of regular nipples on the bat suit, they could have like little bat-shaped.
That's terrible. Stop it. Terrible.
No tassels.
Nope. Stop it.
All right.
Stop it. So Iron Man 3 wrap up. Did you like it? Yes or no?
I liked it, the action, and I liked the CGI.
Are you going to critique every future Marvel film in the same manner in which you critiqued? Oh God. Oh my God. Oh. You didn't cover your mouth. Thanks.
I did.
That's
it's all over my hand.
Oh God! Don't touch anything of mine. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna disinfect you. I'm a giant germaphobe. So are you okay?
I'm not going to critique Winter Soldier.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued to see how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
With presented like it was just like a Cold War thing versus Cold War was 20 years ago, so it's kind of hard for it to be as relevant. So how they're going to approach it and make it more relevant, that I might critique. But as far as like on the whole, I'm not the biggest, as far as Captain America fans go. So I'm not going to be like distraught if they don't do it properly.
Okay.
Is
that's sufficient? That's sufficient.
Then for Thor, the Dark World, with as far as the elves go, as long as they make them kind of elvish,
I'm okay with that.
I don't need them to look like Lord of the Rings.
You don't need them to look like Ewoks? Yeah.
Oh, God. That would hurt. If there's little Ewoks going after Thor. Actually, no, that would be pretty fucking funny.
That'd be pretty funny.
Verily, these just running with superpowers and Thor just beating them with
verily, these woolly monsters attacketh me. Brother, did you see the one with the mouse-like face? For Asgard, brother, we must beat back these impish wolves.
You know what? Talking about Thor got me thinking. We were talking about alternate stuff. I had a card. It was an alternate M card. It was what if Rogue met up with Thor?
Yeah. And
they like embraced, and she stole all of his power, and then she controlled Mjolnir, and that's where she got her ability to fly.
That'd be cool.
I thought it was interesting. I know we were talking about other universes stuff, and I forgot to bring that up.
Thank you for going back to that, Chris.
You're welcome.
Your input is greatly desired and accepted.
There was one that was like, what if Wolverine was a vampire?
Then that gets weird to me. Like, let's not just be like, what if Wolverine was an astronaut?
I mean, it's better than zombies.
Yeah, zombies I'm not a fan of when they do Marvel zombies.
Yeah. Ugh. But I mean, I felt like I was like, well, what if Wolverine? I mean, they tried to do things that tied in with powers and abilities that they already contain, so it made sense to like make it like that slight. It makes it a slight transition instead of a major like. What the fuck? They don't get new superpowers. Like, I want to know.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
But like, Dracula Logan.
let's wrap this one up. You're going to stay put because we're going to do another one right after this. But let's wrap up this show.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Spoiler alert.
We're doing
We're doing back-to-back pods, but when you hear it, you'll pretend like you never knew that we did back-to-back.
We'll release the subconscious message in the beginning of the episode. Yep. Don't pay attention to the last 5 minutes, except for when Brendan goes ding.
So wrap it up. What did you learn today?
I learned that we have good arguments that lead to progressive growth of thought.
High five. Thank you for not using the hand you sneezed in. Ask me what I learned.
What did you learn?
I learned that...
I have a sneeze that can wake the dead.
And I was terrified because I thought you were having an aneurysm. But I also learned that we can have a gentlemanlike debate and that we both agree Rescue should be in the next Iron Man 3 film. And that
never do Iron Man 3 again.
Or I mean Iron Man 4. And you have a lot of alternate universe fan fiction to write.
I would have so much fun writing alternate universe stuff. I don't have the patience for it.
Ultimate erotic?
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye.